My friends, I want you to listen very closely because what I'm about to share with you can be a real turning point in your life. Especially if you're over 50, especially if you've noticed more hair in the sink, on the pillow, or coming out in the shower. I'm going to explain something today that most seniors have never been told, something that can truly help you slow down hair loss, strengthen those follicles, and support healthier, fuller hair growth naturally. And yes, I'll tell you about a specific oil you can start using tonight that works instantly by nourishing your scalp the right way. But before we get there, I need you to understand why your hair changes as you age, because when you understand the why, everything else becomes simple. I always tell people your body is trying to talk to you. Hair loss is not a cosmetic issue. It's not just age. It's not just genetics. Your hair is often one of the first areas that shows you something deeper about your circulation, hormones, stress level, nutrients, and even your daily habits. So when a senior tells me, "Doc, my hair is thinning," I don't just think about the hair. I think about blood flow. I think about inflammation. I think about stress hormones. I think about the tiny vessels that feed each follicle. I think about the scalp environment. And the good news is every one of these things can be improved. And when they improve, the hair responds. Now, if you're a man or woman over 50, the changes happening in your body are very real. You're dealing with slower cell turnover, slower circulation, lower hydration, and more oxidative stress. The scalp becomes drier. The follicles become weaker. The blood flow to the surface of the head decreases. And if you've had stressful years, working, raising a family, financial pressure, health struggles, your body has been living in stress mode for a long time. Let me tell you something important. Long-term stress alone can shrink hair follicles. It can literally push them into what's called a resting phase where they stop producing strong hair. And here's something many seniors don't realize. Once you hit your 50s, your scalp oil glands change dramatically. They don't produce the same protective oils they used to. This means your scalp becomes dry, irritated, inflamed, and easier to damage. And if the scalp isn't healthy, the follicles don't stand a chance. That dryness can start to choke the follicle. It becomes harder for nutrients to get in, harder for circulation to stay strong, harder for the root to stay anchored. And this is why you see hair thinning in specific patches at the top of the head or along the hairline. But here's the best part. Your scalp responds incredibly well to nourishment. It responds to moisture. It responds to oils that carry natural nutrients right into the follicle. It responds to improved circulation. It responds to timing. Yes, timing. When you apply certain oils at specific times of the day, your follicles absorb them better and the benefits become stronger. Most seniors never learned this. Nobody teaches it. But today I'm going to break it down for you so clearly that you'll be able to start tonight and feel the results almost immediately. Before I reveal the oil and how to use it, let's talk a little about what's actually happening inside your body when hair starts to weaken. After 50, men and women experience increased inflammation. I'm not talking about the type you feel like joint swelling or pain. I'm talking about microscopic inflammation deep inside the tissue, and your scalp has millions of tiny blood vessels that depend on smooth, calm circulation. When inflammation increases, these vessels tighten, the flow decreases, and the follicles don't get what they need. When circulation goes down, hair quality goes down. When circulation stops, hair stops. This is also the age when your body's collagen production slows. Collagen supports the structure around the follicle. When that structure weakens, the hair becomes thinner. And then, of course, there's oxidative stress. Your cells deal with damage every day from pollution, poor diet, lack of sleep, and general aging. That oxidative stress hits your follicles just like it hits your skin. And just like your skin wrinkles, your hair follicles also age. The good news is they can be revived. They can be nourished. You can push oxygen, blood, nutrients, and moisture back into the root if you do the right things consistently. And let me tell you another factor that affects seniors more than younger people: dehydration. You might not think it affects your hair, but it absolutely does. When you're chronically dehydrated, the body prioritizes the most essential functions for survival. Hair is not on that list. So the follicles get less hydration, less nutrition, less circulation. This is exactly why hair starts to feel weak, dry, and brittle. It's not your fault. It's biology. And biology can be supported. Now let me shift into something really important. Timing and lifestyle. Many people only look for a magic product, but they never address the habits that are sabotaging their hair. For example, if you're taking a hot shower before bed, that hot water is stripping away your natural oils from the scalp. And if you already have low oil production from aging, that's a problem. If you're sleeping with dry air in your room, especially with heaters running, that's another problem because your scalp loses moisture all night long. If you're eating late at night, raising stress hormones, keeping your system inflamed, you're creating an environment where follicles struggle to stay alive. Sleep quality also matters. Deep, restful sleep allows your body to repair tissue, including follicles. If your sleep is shallow, broken, or restless, your scalp doesn't heal. Remember, your scalp is skin, and skin heals the most during sleep. This is exactly why the oil I'm going to tell you about works best when applied at night. Your follicles absorb more. The circulation becomes more efficient. And because the oil moisturizes while you sleep, you wake up with a calmer, healthier scalp. Before we get into that oil, I want you to understand something crucial. Seniors often think their hair loss is permanent. They think nothing can help. They think age is the only cause, and that couldn't be further from the truth. If your follicles are still alive, even if they're weak, you can bring them back into a growth phase. You just need the right environment. And oils are one of the simplest, safest, most effective ways to create that environment instantly. Now let's talk about the emotional side. Hair isn't just hair, it's confidence, it's identity. It's how you feel when you look in the mirror, and when you see less of it, you feel older. Many people think, there's nothing I can do, but I want you to wipe that thought completely out of your mind. You can absolutely do something. And you're going to start today. Let's talk about the mistakes seniors make that accelerate hair loss without even realizing it. Brushing hair too aggressively when it's wet. This pulls out weakened strands. Not massaging the scalp. This decreases circulation. Using shampoos filled with harsh chemicals that strip the scalp. This damages the follicle environment. Sleeping on cotton pillowcases that create friction. This causes more breakage. And the biggest one, not applying nourishing oils. Oils strengthen the hair shaft, moisturize the scalp, increase circulation, reduce inflammation, and feed the follicle. Oils have been used for thousands of years for this very reason. They work because they work with your biology, not against it. But not all oils are the same. The one I'm about to talk about has a unique ability to instantly increase moisture, instantly reduce inflammation, instantly calm the scalp, and instantly improve circulation. And when circulation improves, everything improves. Your hair becomes stronger, the follicles stay active longer, and the scalp becomes healthier. Before I reveal it, I want to talk about how men's and women's health changes after 50 affects hair even more than people think. For men, there is a natural shift that increases stress hormones in the body. When these hormones rise, the scalp becomes more sensitive, the follicles shrink, and the growth cycle shortens. For women, hormonal shifts reduce natural oil production and hydration, making hair more vulnerable to breakage and thinning. But regardless of gender, the principles stay the same: nourish the scalp, increase circulation, calm inflammation, and support the follicle. And here's something I want you to start doing right away, starting tonight: slow breathing before bed. This increases oxygen flow and relaxes the nervous system. When you're calm, your blood vessels open. When they open, more nutrients reach the scalp. This prepares the follicles to absorb the oil even better. That's why timing matters. You want to apply this oil when your body is in healing mode. That means evening or right before sleep. All right, let's take a deep breath together because we're moving into the part you've been waiting for. The oil I'm going to share with you is one of the most powerful natural oils for hair loss. It works instantly by increasing blood flow, feeding the follicle, calming the scalp, and protecting the hair from breakage. And seniors especially benefit from it because it brings back the moisture and nourishment your scalp stopped producing years ago. But before I give you the name, I want you to understand why it works, so when you start using it, you know exactly what it's doing for you. Seniors often deal with what I call silent scalp stress. This means the scalp is tight, dry, irritated, and undernourished without you even realizing it. This oil releases that tightness, it increases blood flow, it softens the skin, it brings oxygen into the tissue. And when you massage it in, the follicles wake up. It's like giving your scalp a fresh breath of life. I'm going to give you the oil in part 2, but I need you to first understand the foundation we just built here. Because once you understand the why, the how, it becomes powerful. Now that you understand what's happening inside your body and why the scalp weakens as you age, I want to introduce you to something truly powerful. The oil I'm about to tell you about has been used for generations all around the world because of how quickly it works on the scalp and follicles. I'm talking about rosemary oil. Not the cheap synthetic kind, but real, pure rosemary essential oil mixed with a carrier oil like coconut oil, olive oil, or almond oil so it's gentle enough for the scalp. Rosemary oil is one of the best natural solutions seniors can use to boost circulation, stimulate weak follicles, reduce inflammation, and protect existing hair from breaking. Let me explain why rosemary oil works so well for seniors. As we age, circulation decreases in the scalp. Rosemary oil has compounds that naturally open up those tiny blood vessels, allowing more oxygen and nutrients to reach the follicle. This means that even follicles that have been dormant or sluggish can start waking up again. Your hair needs that blood flow more than anything. Think of a plant without water, it wilts, dries, and dies. But give it water, sunlight, and nutrients again, and it starts coming back to life. Your hair follicles work the same way. When blood flow improves, the follicle becomes active again. Rosemary oil has been studied for its ability to do exactly that. Another thing rosemary oil does is reduce inflammation in the scalp. Remember earlier when I said seniors deal with silent scalp stress, dryness, irritation, tightness, and inflammation that you can't see but is happening under the surface. This is one of the biggest reasons seniors lose hair so quickly. Inflammation pushes the follicle into a resting phase, and if it stays in that phase for too long, it stops producing new hair. Rosemary oil calms that inflammation almost instantly. It soothes the scalp, relaxes the tissue, and allows the follicle to stay in the growth phase longer. And let me tell you something that surprises a lot of people. When your scalp is tight, the blood flow is restricted. Many seniors don't even realize how tight their scalp becomes over the years. Stress, dehydration, and age all contribute to that tightness. Rosemary oil naturally relaxes the scalp muscles. When those muscles relax, blood flow increases. When blood flow increases, growth improves. This is why when you massage rosemary oil into the scalp, you feel warmth or tingling. That's the circulation waking up. Now, I want to break down the timing because if you apply this oil at the wrong time, you're losing out on about half of its benefit. Your scalp heals the most when you're sleeping. That's when the cells repair themselves, inflammation goes down, and circulation improves. Your body is literally in recovery mode. This is why applying rosemary oil before bed is the most effective time for seniors. You're giving the follicles what they need exactly when the body is ready to repair them. And here's something even better, you're moisturizing the scalp throughout the night. Seniors often have dry scalps because the oil glands slow down with age. When your scalp is dry, the hair shaft becomes weak, it breaks easily, and the follicle becomes irritated. Applying rosemary oil mixed with a carrier oil before sleeping creates a protective layer that locks in moisture, calms the scalp, and protects the hair from friction. You're doing two things at once, healing the follicles and improving the scalp environment. But don't just apply the oil, massage it in. The massage is just as important as the oil itself. Massaging the scalp increases blood flow. And when you combine massage with rosemary oil, you create a double effect. The oil improves circulation chemically, and the massage improves circulation physically. Seniors who massage their scalp for just 2 to 3 minutes at night see faster results than those who simply apply oil. And remember, you don't need to use a lot. Too much oil clogs the scalp. Just a few drops of rosemary oil in 1 tablespoon of carrier oil is all you need. I want to talk about lifestyle again because this is the part so many people ignore. Healthy hair doesn't come from products alone. It comes from the environment you create inside your body. And seniors especially need to pay attention to this because every small habit can make a difference. You need to stay hydrated. Water improves circulation and helps nutrients reach the scalp. If you're dehydrated, your hair suffers. If your diet is filled with processed foods, it increases inflammation and makes hair loss worse. If you're not moving your body, your circulation slows down. Even walking 10 to 15 minutes a day helps more blood flow to the scalp. Another thing seniors should consider is reducing stress. Long-term stress shrinks follicles. It keeps the blood vessels tight. It increases inflammation. This is why deep breathing before bed is so effective. It opens up the vessels and puts the body into a healing state. Remember, your scalp absorbs the oil better when your body is calm. If you apply oil while you're tense, the blood vessels are tight and the circulation stays low. Relax first, then apply the oil. Now, let's talk about something important: consistency. Seniors often try something for a few days and say, "Doc, I don't see any difference," but your scalp needs time to adjust. Your follicles need time to wake up. You might see less shedding within a week, but fuller hair takes patience. If you commit to applying rosemary oil every night for at least 6 to 8 weeks, you will feel and see the difference. The scalp becomes softer. The follicles feel stronger, the hair becomes less brittle, and new growth can start appearing in areas that look dormant. Let me give you a simple routine you can follow tonight. A few hours before bed, drink a glass of water. Not too close to bedtime, so you're not waking up at night. Do a few slow breaths to calm your system. Mix 2 drops of rosemary oil with a tablespoon of coconut, olive, or almond oil. Always dilute it. Never apply rosemary oil directly. Then gently massage the mixture into your scalp using circular motions. Focus on the crown, the temples, and any thinning areas. Spend at least 2 minutes doing this. When you finish, leave the oil on overnight. You can use a soft towel on your pillow if you want. When you wake up, you can wash it out if needed, or just let it absorb if you only used a small amount. Another tip many seniors forget is that heat helps absorption. You don't need anything complicated. After applying the oil, take a warm, not hot cloth, place it on your scalp for 20 seconds, remove it, and repeat once or twice. This gently opens the pores and allows the oil to go deeper into the follicle. But don't use heat if you have sensitive skin or any scalp irritation. Keep it comfortable. Now let's talk about habits that may be hurting your hair even if you don't realize it. Taking long, hot showers every night is one of them. Hot water strips the scalp of natural oils, and if you're already dry, this makes it worse. Switch to lukewarm water. Another hidden issue is using too much shampoo. Seniors don't need to shampoo every day. Every 2 to 3 days is more than enough. Focus more on hydrating your scalp and less on stripping it clean. Your scalp isn't dirty, it's dry, and dryness is the enemy. One of the most important things you should start doing is improving your sleep environment. Your hair heals at night, so make sure your bedroom supports recovery. Keep the air from becoming too dry. Stay away from sleeping under direct heat. And if you can, switch to a softer pillowcase. You don't need expensive materials, just something smooth and gentle so your hair doesn't rub harshly all night long. You should also pay attention to your nutrition because your follicles need building blocks. Simple nutrients like vitamin C, zinc, omega-3 fats, and protein all help hair growth. Seniors often don't get enough of these, especially if meals are irregular. You don't need supplements unless your doctor recommends them. Whole foods like nuts, seeds, fruits, and vegetables give your hair what it needs. And if you're eating late at night, stop. Late eating raises stress hormones and increases inflammation. Your body needs to calm down before sleep so it can repair itself. Another factor I want you to understand is blood sugar. If blood sugar levels are constantly going up and down, it affects circulation, it affects inflammation, and it affects hair. Many seniors don't realize how much blood sugar plays a role in hair health. Stable blood sugar helps follicles stay strong and stable. Too many refined carbs or sugary snacks will make shedding worse. Your hair is a direct reflection of what's happening inside your body. Treat the inside and the outside response. Now let's go deeper into the power of rosemary oil. One of the reasons I recommend it to seniors is because it has antioxidant compounds. These compounds protect the follicles from damage. They fight oxidative stress, which is one of the biggest drivers of hair thinning. When you put rosemary oil on the scalp, you're not only feeding the follicle, you're protecting it. You're giving it a shield against the daily damage caused by age, environment, and stress. Rosemary oil also improves nerve health in the scalp. Seniors often experience changes in nerve sensitivity over time. When the nerves in the scalp weaken, the communication between the follicle and the body becomes slower. Rosemary helps stimulate those nerves, helping the body wake up the follicles and encourage better growth signals. This is something very few people talk about, but it's one of the reasons this oil works so well for older adults. And let me remind you again, the massage is the secret weapon. Even if you didn't use any oil, massaging the scalp increases thickness and improves growth. When you combine that with rosemary oil, the effect becomes much stronger. Make this part of your routine just like brushing your teeth. 2 to 3 minutes a night, that's all it takes. You might be wondering, can I use rosemary oil in the morning? Yes, you can. But nighttime is when it truly shines because your follicles absorb more when your body is resting. Morning application is a bonus, but nighttime is the foundation. And don't worry about the fragrance. It's refreshing, calming, and soothing. Some seniors even say it helps them sleep better. As you continue this routine, pay attention to the signals your scalp gives you. A healthier scalp feels different. It feels softer. It feels more relaxed. You may notice less shedding when you shower. You may notice your hair feels stronger when you run your fingers through it. And over time, you may even begin to notice new little baby hairs growing in areas that used to be thin. In part 3, I'll break down a more advanced routine that seniors can use to boost results even more. I'll also explain why some people see faster changes than others and how to avoid mistakes that slow your progress. We're going to build on what we covered today so you get every benefit possible. Now that you understand how rosemary oil works, why it works, and the importance of timing, I want to guide you into an advanced routine that seniors can follow to boost results even further. Think of this as leveling up. If part 2 was about waking up the follicles and feeding them, this part is about creating the perfect long-term environment so they can stay strong, active, and growing. One of the biggest things I want seniors to understand is that your scalp environment changes throughout the day. During the morning and daytime, your scalp deals with dryness, sunlight, temperature changes, air pollution, and tension. At night, the scalp goes into repair mode. This is why what you do in the morning and what you do at night both matter. Most people only focus on one. But when you combine both sides, the results become much more noticeable. So let's start with the morning routine. When you wake up, your hair follicles are in a softer, more relaxed state because your body has spent hours repairing and restoring tissues while you slept. But your scalp may also be slightly dehydrated after those hours without water. The first thing you want to do is drink a glass of water. It sounds simple, but it makes a real difference because this immediately wakes up your circulation. And your circulation is your hair's lifeline. After that, take a moment to gently stretch your neck. Many seniors hold tension in the neck and shoulders, and that tension reduces blood flow to the scalp. Just a few gentle neck stretches first thing in the morning can open up those vessels and allow more blood to reach the scalp throughout the day. This alone can improve hair health because the scalp depends on circulation every minute of the day. Now let's talk about a very important part of the morning, protecting your scalp. Seniors often don't realize that ultraviolet light, hard water, dry air, and even regular grooming can damage the hair. If you're stepping outside, wear a cap during the hottest hours of the day. Sunlight directly on a thinning scalp can cause more inflammation and dryness. And if your scalp is already dry, that's not what we want. Another thing you should do is avoid brushing aggressively. Use gentle strokes. Brushing too hard pulls on weakened follicles. If your hair is very thin or fragile, you might even consider using very small amounts of rosemary oil in the morning, not as much as at night, but just enough to keep the scalp moist and protected. A tiny drop mixed with a little carrier oil can act like a barrier throughout the day. This keeps your scalp hydrated and reduces friction from wind and movement. Now, let's move into something that's even more important than the oil itself, your mindset and daily habits. Seniors often live with the belief that hair loss is permanent or that it's too late to help the scalp, but your body is always healing, even in your 50s, 60s, 70s, or beyond, your scalp can respond quickly when you give it what it needs. You're not working against time, you're working with your biology. And your biology is always ready to heal. The real challenge for seniors isn't the oil, it's consistency. Doing something 1 or 2 times won't create change. But doing something simple every day, even for a few minutes, slowly builds momentum.